Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Protocol Pegasus here, bringing it back to you guys in Remnant from the Ashes, and today we'll be taking a look at the corrupted gunslinger. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into this, shall we? Alright, so my character sheet is going to be as followed. From there, I'm utilizing the hunting pistol as my sidearm. Attached onto it is the weapon mod known as Sea Caller. For the primary weapon, I am utilizing the Spore Bloom. From there, the weapon mod attached onto it is the Spore Shot, is a non-removable mod. From there, I'm utilizing the melee weapon known as the Petrified Maul with the perk Heavy Impact. And for my armor set, I am using a skin at the moment, so it looks a little bit different, but I am using the Twisted Hood set. From there, I am using the Corrupted skin set that you can purchase from the vendor. So from here, I am using a full Twisted set, which allows me 3% damage boost per stack that I ended up obtaining with this course of the set. From there, I end up stacking this up to 10 times as long as I am at full HP. So I end up increasing my damage output at 30% when I am at full HP, which is really nice. From there, for my amulet, I am using Gunslinger's Charm. I am using Soul Link for my first ring, and I am using Gift of the Iskall for my second ring. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump right over into traits, and then I'll break it down from there. So from there, the traits are going to be as followed. One of the traits I highly recommend for this particular setup is going to be Spirits, which increases mod power generation by 25%. From there, I recommend utilizing... Let me just go ahead and go back up here. Treg, which will increase healing effectiveness by 100%. And then from there, for your final trait that I recommend utilizing just to get this build started is going to be Quick Hands, which increases your reload speed by 25%. Once again, I feel as though that you can capitalize on all the traits within the course of the game to be able to make a really self-sufficient build, not only capitalizing on damage output, self-sustain, high mobility, etc., but everything synergizes really well. And since there is no capital modes in the course of this game, I'd recommend just going for every trait possible and then just being able to capitalize on utilizing every basic trait. But enough about that. From there, we're going to jump over some gameplay and I'll go over some pros and cons in regards to the overall build. Real quick, guys, just wanted to let you know that 94% of you guys that do end up watching my content happen to enjoy it aren't subscribed, so just be sure to subscribe. Really helps me out, and if you don't like me, you can always unsubscribe later. Thanks, guys. Alright, so we're jumping into some gameplay here. We are on Nightmare mode over in the city. One of the pros that you can actually correlate with this particular build is the fact that you have a lot, and I mean a lot, of single target damage output, which will allow you to mow down enemies pretty effectively and to keep pushing forward. It's also really good against boss encounters because from there you'll be targeting them a lot, and if you happen to get any crits, you can actually get a very, very high crit chance with this particular build set, which is really, really nice. Another pro factor with the course of this build is that you have the ability to AoE stuff pretty effectively, surprisingly. With the primary weapon they're using for your spores, you can actually utilize that mod and it will throw down a blanket of rot around you, which will end up not only slowing your target but doing damage over time, which in turn will just being able to melt any enemy that ends up coming in. And if it doesn't instantly kill them, what happens is that you'll have enough time to reload, reposition, and then just one-shot them potentially with your amazing single target damage output you'll have with this build, which is really, really nice. Another pro for this particular build too is that you have a lot, and I mean a lot, of self-healing. You have Soul Link attached onto this, which means that every time an ad that you end up summoning ends up attacking an enemy, you instantly heal for 5% of the damage they do. And another thing is too, since you are using the full Twisted set, if you're not too familiar with it, it will actually heal you over time, which will allow you to continuously get health back and keep your health up. Because that is one big fact with this particular build, is that you always kind of want to be at full health to capitalize on the damage output, because that's kind of how this set works, is that once it's at full HP, you get an increase of 30% damage, which is really, really strong, especially for the single target setup, as you can clearly see here. One of the particular cons with this build as a whole is that you are a little bit slower because the armor encumbrance is a little bit heavier than what you might think. It's not anywhere by any means a heavy base set, meaning that you can take a lot of hits. Don't get me wrong, it is relatively tanky, but it's not going to be anything like Leto's set or anything along those lines. But it is a little bit heavier, meaning your rolls potentially will be a little slower, so you want to keep that in mind. Another thing is too, is that you only have one bullet in the chamber for pretty much your secondary and primary, so that is something to keep in mind when pushing forward, because you don't want to end up getting caught out without continuously reloading. But your reload speed is pretty effective, and plus, since if you use the consumable for the frenzy dust, you'll be able to consistently bolster your reload speed, and you'll just be reloading in like half a second, which is fantastic. But yeah, that's pretty much going to be it with the build, guys. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments, be sure to post them down below in the comment section. From there, I'll be happy to answer any questions and concerns you guys happen to have. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. That will give you notifications in regards to anytime I happen to go live, anytime I post the latest and greatest content. And from there, just keep tabs of whatever's going on. So yeah, that's pretty much going to be it, guys. I'm going to roll this out in the background. But if you have any more questions and concerns, just let me know. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I hope to see you real soon. Later.